trip behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Bash TV. Palm Bash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Palm Bash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We have a great interview coming up shortly. But if you haven't yet, be sure to click that subscribe button and bell button below you there, and you'll always be notified of any new episodes coming your way. And leave a comment on the comment section, of course, if you'd like. We'd love to hear from you. And we'll have contact info on the description part, and we'll also repeat that contact info at the closing credits at the end of the show. So we hope you'll stay tuned for that. From Dorset, United Kingdom today, we have Deborah Fennella. She's a very talented artist. I think you're going to agree. And we'll get to that in a second. But first, here's a quick word from The Kinggdom Show, and it begins right now.
The Kinggdom Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thekingdomshow.com for more information on the show.
Okay, we're back, and with us from Dorset, United Kingdom, we have Deborah Fennella with us today. Thanks for joining us, Deborah.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you so much, Paul, for having me on your show. I'm so eternally grateful.
Yeah, no problem. I'm glad that you're here today. Well, one of the questions I ask is, tell us about your story, because, everybody gets into music in a different way. Maybe you always wanted to be an artist since you were real little. Maybe it came much later. I mean, tell us in your own words, though. I'd love to hear your story.
I must admit, it started when I was 3 years of age. I always used to love to sing from very early age, and my mum sings as well. My grandparents were singers. So I joined, obviously, preschool and used to sing a lot there, and then in first school and in choirs. And then when I got to middle school, I started to focus on the performing arts, singing, acting and dancing, and having lots of vocal training, and also in choirs as well. And it sort of started really back from there, Paul. And I went into the TV film casting agency when I was 7 in 1977. So I've studied music up to a grade 8. I'm a top soprano, operatic contemporary singer, songwriter, social conscious music producer. So all of my songs that I write uplift, inspire, and heal humanity and those in need. Because when I was a little girl, I always wanted to sing to the world and heal those people, that are suffering or struggling, whether it's mentally, emotionally, or physically, and uplift them, inspire them to believe in themselves and focus on their hopes and dreams. And I feel really blessed after studying all my grades and musical theatre and TV and acting, and also TV presenting, that Gary Knight gave me the opportunity and signed me up in 2019 to K-Dragon Records. And I'm now also head of A&R Special Edition Records, where I sign artists to release charity songs and help them on their paths. So I feel really blessed. I'm also part of Panache Global Entertainment Awards executive team. So basically, Princess P started it 11 years ago, and she wanted to congratulate people in the community and the unsung heroes. So Panache Global Entertainment Awards was formed 11 years ago, and we've awarded many people over the years, supporting many charities and still continue to go strong. Also in the pandemic, I wrote a COVID hero song, and we did the COVID hero Panache Awards, and I performed it in front of royalties and dignitaries. So I often open the awards singing for Princess Peace and the team as well, and feel very grateful, very blessed. So everything that I do is to help others, really, Paul. I'm now ambassador for Wake Up, Rise Up for Peace. I don't know if you've heard of them in Philadelphia. Douglas Payne was the founder, and he started it now 6 years ago. And as you know, in America, gun crime's on the increase. And sadly, so many people are losing their lives. In the UK alone, we had 550,000 knife crime instances alone last year. It's on the increase now as well. And I'm very passionate to make the world a safer, better place. So as soon as my friend Ali Blakemore, who's also a radio presenter, said, "Hey, Douglas Payne's heard your music. He loves your singing voice. He wants you to be part of Wake Up, Rise Up for Peace." He contacted me straight away. We had a little chat. And I'm now hosting a stage with my celebrity friend, Elaine Elizabeth Presley, Elvis Presley's daughter, on World Peace Day, the 21st September for Douglas Payne. And he's doing a global online music festival, hopefully for 24 hours. We've got countries all over the world involved. We'll be sharing some of my music, Elaine Elizabeth Presley's music, also special edition records. I'm hosting a stage on behalf of my artists that I look after as well. And as I say, we've got lots of celebrities and people all over the world that are promoters of peace. Let's make this world a better place and let's promote peace at the end of the day. And, peace is the answer. So I've learned a lot over the years, being a humanitarian and a healer and a Reiki master as well, alternative therapist and life coach. So I do a lot of life coaching with people and empowerment coaching. I help people believe in themselves, to set goals, to focus on themselves. So everything works together very nicely, really, with my singing and my songwriting, working for the record label, Wake Up, Rise Up for Peace, Panache Global Entertainment Awards, and organising charity events as well. I do that quite a lot and raise money for charities. And I've also was part of, what's it called now? Just trying to think. Music for Global Change with Skylar Jets, going back a few years ago, because I host my own live stream TV show, In the Hot Seat with Deborah Fennella, giving people the platform to shine bright and share their stories to the world. And again, it's another way of encouraging people, Paul, to shine bright to this world. Everyone's gifted, everyone's talented, and sometimes you just need a little bit of encouragement and boost their self-esteem, their self-worth and their confidence to believe in themselves. There's too many people knocking each other down this world. Let's empower each other to shine bright and make this world a better place.
Yeah, that's a great story. And I think the one you mentioned a minute ago about Elvis's daughter, I think you're talking about Elaine Elizabeth Presley. Is that who you were talking about?
Yes, I was. She's a
Yes,
very good
I've
friend
had
of
her on my
mine.
show. She's a really great
Have
artist.
you? She
Yeah.
is. She's so lovely. Liz has got a heart of gold. She does a lot of humanitarian work, the same as me. I've got Liz involved in Wake Up, Rise Up for Peace. I've got Liz involved in Panache Global Entertainment Awards as well. We're going to be writing a song together. So we work together quite a lot. We're both signed to Gemstars Talent Management. Kathy Carlson, she's our manager, and she manages both of us as well. And she's a lovely lady with a big heart too, and makes a big difference to this world, supporting artists to shine bright.
Yeah, she's a really great artist, and we were happy to have her on the show. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the artists that you grew up with that helped influence you, as far as the popular artists?
As a child, I must admit, our house was filled with music. My mum loved Dinah Ross and Supremes. My brother Peter loved Michael Jackson. My sister was very much into Wham. And my inspiration was Dinah Ross Supremes, Michael Jackson. Also, I used to love listening to Annie Lennox. Kate Bush was a huge inspiration because she was very unique and very different. So I could say she was quite a big inspiration to me, and Annie Lennox as well. And many artists from the 80s, including Madonna. She was another, big influence to me, to be honest. And I love artists that like to make a difference, even Boy George, because he was very different. I mean, he follows me on Instagram. Boy George, bless him. And again, he's still working strong with his music. Just trying to think of others. There were so many of them, but I could say that they were my major influences. And Sarah Brightman, Sarah Brightman was my inspiration to study opera, which I did, and also bel canto and Charlotte Church as well. I've often been told that I'm a young version of Sarah Brightman because I sound very much like her when I sing opera. And also been told I also sound like Charlotte Church. So they were also my inspiration, Paul, to study opera. So I think opera is beautiful. And being a top soprano that I can, go up as high as 3 octaves. As I studied music and the vibration of sound and the effect it has on the mind, the body, and the spirit, I also learned that when someone sings opera, you can dissipate a cancer cell within seconds listening to opera. A lot of people don't know that. But again, it just shows the power of sound, because music is an emotion, sound is a vibration, and it can shift your mood when you're feeling a little bit sad or down and negative, and shift it to, make you feel more happier inside and more uplifted and more inspired as well. Every story has a song to tell. I've written many charity songs over the years. My very first one was Homeless at Christmas. My husband and I were homeless many years ago when he came out of the RAF with 2 young children. My daughter at the time was only 2.5. My son was 18 months. So we know what it's like to be homeless coming out of the forces. So I'm very passionate about helping the homeless. And we went on holiday in 2018 to Hamburg. And there was a lot of refugees that had gone over to Hamburg in the hope to find work and create a better life for themselves. But unfortunately, it wasn't that easy. And there was a lot of homeless people living on the streets. I'm known to go up to the homeless people, giving them food, giving them a hot drink, listen to their stories. And I said to my husband, we're going to promote acts of kindness. So this particular day, we went out and we were giving food out to the homeless. And there was one particular gentleman that caught my eye, and he was snuggled up in a food shop in the actual window with his old torn blankets. And he told me that he was a refugee and he came over to Hamburg in the hope to find shelter and food and accommodation, but unfortunately it hadn't worked out the way he planned, and he ended up living on the streets, and all he wanted was a place to call home. So I gave him some food, I gave him some drinks. Obviously I didn't come from that area, I didn't know much about Hamburg, and I said a little prayer and asked God and the angels to look after him. And the next day, Sally, as I was walking down the street with my husband, it was freezing cold, it was snow, and it was really cold temperatures because bearing in mind it was leading up to Christmas. And I could see there was police gathered around this, food supermarket shop where he was huddled up. And I said to my husband, oh gosh, I hope he's okay. The closer we got, the gentleman had sadly died. He froze to death in the freezing cold, and the police were standing around his body. And all of a sudden, I saw this vision of his spirit. I don't know if you've ever watched Ghost, the movie. His spirit came out of his physical body, and he was in shock. He hadn't long passed over. And literally, and he was like in shock, and I could see when he said, "You can see me," and I said, "Yes, I can." And I said, "Sadly, your physical body has died." I said, "God's calling you home at Christmas." So I said a little prayer, and Archangel Michael came in. He opened the door between the two worlds, and God was calling him home. So I sent him into the light. And after that, he really touched me, his story. And I was so pleased that he finally did go back home, to God at Christmas. And all of his loved ones were waiting for him. They were collecting him in the light, as well as God and Archangel Michael. So he finally was at peace. So I wrote Homeless at Christmas after he sadly crossed over. And it was released in 2019 into the UK, the USA and Canada music charts, played all over the world. And I share the story in many radio stations to inspire others. Everyone's got a story to tell. Please don't just walk past and ignore the homeless. It's not their fault, half of them, why they ended up on the street. Some people do choose, admittedly, I've come across some that are happy living on the streets and they want to stay there. But a lot of them, it's not by choice. The cost of living is extortionate. People can't afford to live. Do they pay their bills? Do they put food on the table? So I'm very passionate about helping the homeless as well, and other charities that are supported. Bernardo's Help the Aged. I've just wrote a song and recorded it. It's due to be released on 21st September for trigeminal neuralgia sufferers. And it's called, trigeminal neuralgia. Not lots of people can say that because it's quite a mouthful. To bring awareness again globally of trigeminal neuralgia, and a lot of people suffer in silence and pain daily with electrical shocks on their face. So I wrote a story and released it into a song, how people suffer, on behalf of my friend, Anthony James Mattox, who also suffers with it. And I've just recently wrote, and I'm due to record it, Help the Needy, Don't Be Greedy, for Support Our Superheroes, which is my friend's charity. And Sarah Gardner, she does a lot of amazing work. She set her charity up back in the pandemic to help those on the breadline that, again, can't afford to buy food or supplies for their home, blankets, all sorts of things. So I met Sarah at an awards at charity recently. We both got an award at the Dorset Awards, Women Empowerment Awards, Dorset Women Empowerment Awards. And we got talking, and we're both very compassionate people. We love to help people, support charities. And I said I was a a multi-award winning singer-songwriter, social conscious music producer, and released lots of charity songs and support charities. And she said, I really would love you to write a charity song for me. So I'm due to record it with my talented friend and composer, Mark Bustle. We work a lot together on all of, well, I'd say about 80% of my songs. So he's coming back in the studios with me, and Ben Jones is my sound engineer friend who works in Basement Studios, Wimborne. He works very much with all of my songs too. I also like recording trance dance songs. Takes me back to the 80s and makes people want to dance with the K, and also worked with Agent Square Wave as well. And my latest song, Space Warp, Psytrance, is in the UK, USA, and Canada music charts with the K at this moment in time. We've released Cosmic Storm as well, Blinded by Confusion, Dance to the Beat, and a couple of other songs. So always busy bee. I'm always busy helping, uplifting, inspiring others shine bright, and helping them and backwards and forwards in the studio, and helping my artists and Panache Global Entertainment Awards. We're working hard now, organising that for the 9th of November in London as well, and also the Global Peace Day, 21st September, for Wake Up, Rise Up for Peace. So very busy person.
Okay, well, that's my story. And, you mentioned Wham and Michael Jackson. Those were always great bands, in my opinion.
They were amazing.
Now, if people want to download your music, I mean, I'm sure you go on all streaming platforms. Are you on all social media platforms? Do you have an official site? Tell everybody about that.
You can find me on my website, which is under www.deborahfenella.singer-songwriter.co.uk. I'm also on K Dragon Records website. You can find all of my music on Deezer, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube. And also find me on Facebook under Deborah Fennella, singer-songwriter, and also Deborah Fennella, and then Deborah Fennella on Instagram. I'm also on LinkedIn and also X as well. And I think I'm on SoundCloud under Deborah Fennella on there as well. So even if you just put Deborah Fennella, singer-songwriter on Google, it will, come up with all of my music where you can download it on all of the music digital music platforms.
Okay. Well, go to those places she mentioned you, and I know she would love you for that. And just a few minutes ago, you did mention the song we're about to play about ending gun violence and so forth.
Yes, this is my latest song that I've literally just recorded. It's just been released into the UK, USA, and Canada music charts with composer Mark Bustle, and it's Wake Up, Rise Up for Peace campaign charity song, Let's End Wars and Gun and Knife Crime. I think I sent you the music video, Paul, didn't I, as well? I've tagged you on Facebook.
We'll be playing that in just a minute here.
Oh, thank you.
And you did explain earlier the story behind it, and usually now I would be asking that, but I guess you already explained all that. But anyway, we'll be playing that in just a second. But Deborah, I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. We invite you to come back anytime you want to plug something new.
Oh, thank you so much, Paul. And thank you so much to all of your listeners as well, all over the world. And keep shining bright. And let's make this world a better, safer place. Peace is the answer, and end wars and gun and knife crime. Thank you so much.
God bless. No problem. And here it is, and it starts right now.
It's time to change. We can save the world. Stop the hurt, stop the hate, stop the war, stop the pain. Ain't got enough crime, it's time to change. We can save the world, we can save more lives. Choose peace instead. Let's forgive each other. Don't let fear cloud your view. It's time to start your life anew. Stop the anger and the hate. Stop the hurt and the pain, and the violence and the wars. It's time to end those scores. We can light the way, let's be there. Time to show each other we care. Choose peace and love instead. Learn to forgive each other. Stop the hurt, stop the hate, stop the war, stop the pain. Ain't got enough crime, it's time to change. We can save the world, we can save more lives. Choose peace instead. Let's forgive each other. Stop the hurt, stop the hate, stop the war, stop the pain. Ain't got enough crime, it's time to change. We can save the world, we can save more lives. Choose peace instead. Let's forgive each other. Let's unite and all come together. Stop violence and the wars. Now it's time for us to change. And gang and enough crime. It's time to take a stand. Let's light a candle of hope. Pray for peace in this world. It's time to save more lives. Choose peace and love instead. Learn to forgive each other. Stop the hurt.